Hi, I'm Gareth Marlowe. There's a lovely story in Stephen Covey's 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Suppose you're going through a forest and you come across somebody cutting down a tree. They look absolutely exhausted and they've clearly still got loads to do. How's it going, you ask? The person responds, can't you see I've got so much to do and I'm absolutely exhausted. So you say, well, you've still got a lot to do. Why don't you stop for a minute and sharpen your saw? And the person responds, well, I haven't got time to sharpen the saw. I've got all of this wood to cut. So this situation came up in or this scenario came up in a coaching conversation that I was having a few months ago with a manager. So it was this person's job to manage a delivery team who were responsible for deploying the company's technology out to the field, working with different companies and getting the technology adopted. The company was doing well financially, had a great big order book of these projects to deliver, and this person was being given more and more people to manage to try and get the delivery done. But he wasn't allowed any time to improve the processes that they were following. So everything was manual, it was error prone, people were making it up as they were going along, and it took a long time to get up to speed, and then inevitably they would leave the organisation because the work was sort of unfulfilling and quite dreadful. So what this manager wanted to do was to take some time out just to build up documentation and automation and standardise some process so that the work could happen much more efficiently, effectively, and so that people could come onto the team more quickly. But the managers who were above him wouldn't let him do it, and they wouldn't let him do it because the order book was so big and they had all of this work to deliver. So we talked around this scenario for quite some time. You know, what can you do to influence the managers? How can you help to change their mind? And what we came up with was the idea of doing something under the radar, something a little bit stealth. And what this manager I was working with wanted to do was kind of basically down tools and improve, but there was absolutely no way that he was going to get the go-ahead to do that. So what we talked about instead was, from his large group of people, just taking a couple for a small piece of work to try to improve what in their view was the most constraining part of the whole process. You know, write that piece of documentation, automate that particular step, produce some sort of training guides for one particular aspect of what you're doing, and just see what result it had. So in this scenario, he wasn't going to make actually a material impact on the amount of work that was being done by the large number of people on the team, because it was only a small percentage of the total effort, enough really to get lost in the noise. But the good thing was that he was going to be able to demonstrate the value of what he was doing by automating or by improving the documentation or straightening out the process for one particular step. He'd be able to demonstrate that effort produced returns that allowed the whole team to speed up, do higher quality work, and work more efficiently. So yeah, takeaways from the Covey example, the Sharpen the Saw example. One is, if you're a manager over the top of all of this, if you're a director level person and you've got work that's taking place in your area of the business without any explicit continual improvement effort, you know, you're not sharpening the saw. You're likely to be wasting huge amounts of time and effort, and you run the risk of high turnover in that part of the business. And if you're a manager trying to deliver some of this and frustrated by the lack of support that you're getting from above, find small steps that you can make to start making some of the improvements under the radar, and then use that to build your evidential case to make a more profound change. That's it for today. I'm Gareth. I'll see you next time.